Is the iPad Air M2 the game changer we all have been waiting for? Apple has once again shaken things up with the new model, but is it truly worth the hype? Don't miss this video, as today we are taking a deep dive into the features, performance and the hidden surprises of the iPad Air M2. And by the end of this video, I promise you'll find out if this is the perfect iPad for you. So my name is Prithviraj and I create videos on productivity, tech and life. Before this, I have been using the 2020 iPad Pro as my primary device. So let's see if this is a worthy upgrade for me. Let's kick things off with the design of the iPad Air 11. The design language is pretty identical to the previous iPad Air. You get the same aluminum chassis and an edge-to-edge display. And to be honest, it already felt modern and premium. It didn't need a design overhaul. Also, I got the Apple Pencil Pro along with this. We'll be talking about this a little later. We have the speaker grills and the power button on top. The power button is also the fingerprint scanner, or the Touch ID as Apple likes to call it. On the left, we have the volume buttons as well as the magnetic pin for connecting your Apple Pencil. At the bottom, we again have the speaker grills as well as the USB Type-C port, of course. And we have a whole lot of nothing on the left side. The iPad Air M2 features an 11-inch liquid retina display with a resolution of 1640 x 2360 pixels. The display is absolutely stunning, and it's one of the main reasons why the iPad Air remains as a compelling device. The colors are vibrant and the text is sharp, and the brightness of 500 nits makes it more than bright enough for both indoor and outdoor usage. Watching movies, editing photos, or even just reading articles on this device felt fantastic. But here's where the things get tricky. While the display is great, it's not a ProMotion display like the iPad Pro. That means we are limited to a refresh rate of 60Hz. For most people, this won't be a deal breaker, but if you have used a 120Hz display like the one we get in iPad Pro or some other high-end smartphones, you will instantly notice the difference. To be honest, the smoother scrolling and the animations on a 120Hz screen are simply hard to ignore, specifically once you have experienced them. The problem with tablets many a times is that they often lack a bit in terms of the sound department. Either they increase the sharpness too much, else they simply lack the depth and the warmth in the sound. But here on the iPad Air 11, everything sounded very balanced. I personally like the clarity of the sound, so yeah, listening to music on this device is check. It's not the loudest of the tablets, but it went decently loud, I must say. But all in all, it features a great video as well as audio setup. I had an amazing time binge watching my favorite content on Netflix and YouTube. They were really fun to watch on this device. And also the reading experience. I've been reading a lot of articles on Medium and also occasionally reading on the Kindle app. This came in super useful for that aspect. So as per the entertainment side of things, the new iPad Air 11 has got you covered. And also we are really close to hitting 100k subs on this channel. It would mean the world to me if you could consider hitting that subscribe button. Now let us dive into the business end of this device. And also that's the real star of the show, which is the Apple M2 chipset. This is exactly where the iPad Air 11 sets itself apart from all the other competitors. Apple has essentially taken the same chipset found in the MacBook Air and the iPad Pro and brought it to this more budget-friendly tablet. So what does it mean for the performance? Well, it's a huge leap over the already capable M1 chipset. The M2 chipset features faster processing speeds and better graphics performance, whether you're editing videos on LumaFusion or DaVinci Resolve, or even while running high graphics games on this device. The M2 chipset can handle it all without breaking a sweat. For creatives, this is where the M2 chipset shines the most. Here's the benchmark scores on Geekbench in case you're interested into that sort of stuff, and as you can see, the performance was insane. I've been using apps like Procreate, Lightroom and DaVinci Resolve, and everything felt super responsive. If you're a digital artist or a video editor, this upgrade is a game changer. I do plan on creating a dedicated video on the video editing experience on the iPad Air, so yeah, please stay tuned for that. But here is the real question. Do you actually need the M2 chipset? For most people, the M1 chipset was already an overkill for everyday tasks, like browsing the web, watching videos or working with documents. The M2 chipset is definitely a lot more powerful, but unless you are doing some heavy creative work or gaming, you might not experience a huge difference in daily use. And speaking of gaming, I had an amazing time gaming on this device. As usual, I have been testing out games like BGMI, Asphalt, Brawl Stars and a few more, and I must say I absolutely loved the overall gaming experience on this device. I faced no frame drops and stuff like that so far. The only thing I would have appreciated if the iPad Air had is the 120Hz display. The M2 chipset paired with the 120Hz display could have been an absolute game changer in terms of gaming performance. But sadly, we'll have to settle with the 60Hz display as of now on this device. I'm also currently running on the beta version of the iPad OS 18, and I must say I have really been enjoying the all dark theme, to be honest. The icons now have a dark tint on them and I absolutely love that. Also, the multitasking experience was great on this device. Didn't face any lags or other issues. The M2 chipset is simply insane. Paired with the Apple Pencil Pro, the photo editing experience using Lightroom for iPad was super therapeutic as well. Now let's talk about the cameras. It features a 12 megapixel wide rear camera, which is decent for taking quick photos or scanning documents. The front camera though, it features center stage. This is a feature that automatically adjusts to keep you in the frame while taking video calls. This was really necessary, I must say. Although we have the front camera in the horizontal bezel, it is not really in the center. It is slightly shifted towards the left side, and I can understand why Apple did this. Rather, they had to do it, I must say. Else without that, we wouldn't be able to attach our Apple Pencil magnetically. But the center stage solves this issue. So this is the front camera test of the iPad Air 11. It features a 12 megapixel front camera. As we previously discussed about center stage, the camera is not really in the center point, but still it feels as if I'm looking straight at you. This is the power of center stage that Apple has done. But the sad thing is that we don't have 4K in front camera. It's at 1080p at 30 FPS, so that's kind of a bummer. But overall, you won't be facing any issues attending meetings and video calls and stuff like that. In terms of battery life, it features a 7606 mAh battery, and we also get a 30 watts charger right outside the box. Apple promises up to 10 hours of web browsing and video playback using Wi-Fi, and in my testing, it pretty much holds up. If you're just doing your typical day-to-day tasks like browsing webs or watching videos, this tablet will easily last you an entire day of usage. Also, using the Type-C port, you can connect your iPad Air to external displays and also transfer files quickly from external drives. If you have a MacBook or an iMac, you can simply mirror your iPad wirelessly. Rather, you can use it as a second monitor for your MacBook. I have been using this as a secondary monitor for my iMac M3, and this thing really enhances my overall experience. Alright, I was really sad when I realized I won't be able to use my second gen Apple Pencil with the iPad Air 11. This really disappointed me, I must say. Hence, I just had to get the Apple Pencil Pro to use it along with this device. You can also get the Type-C Apple Pencil if you're looking for a cheaper option, but I personally don't like the Type-C Apple Pencil. Hence, I got the Apple Pencil Pro as Apple simply forced me to do that indirectly. But the Apple Pencil Pro would be really crucial for you if you're into digital art, and you can even click it now. Or maybe if you're a student and you're looking for a tablet for note-taking. The Apple Pencil Pro attaches magnetically to the side of the iPad Air for easy pairing and charging, which is super convenient, I must say. Now let's talk about the writing experience of it. The latency using the Apple Pencil Pro is almost non-existent. Thanks to Apple's advanced algorithms, and the pressure sensitivity feels spot on, I must say. Whether you're drawing stuff or simply annotating your PDFs, it's simply a joy to use, I must say. For students, this is a great way to take your notes digitally and organize them, of course. Apps like GoodNotes 6 or Notability work seamlessly, and the M2 chipset ensures that even the most complex files open and render smoothly. Rather, even the default Notes app, which is Apple Notes, really works great on this device. In case you are looking for a free note-taking app to get started, then Apple Notes can be a solid starting point. I have loaded up my daily planner template on Apple Notes. This really helps me to take control and manage my life. Super effective if you want to get more stuff done and stay productive. Rather, if you're looking for a free app which features infinite canvas, then Freeform is a great default app for that. I also feel that Freeform is very underrated. I would really love to create a dedicated video on this very soon. However, like I previously mentioned, please keep in mind that you'll have to buy the Apple Pencil Pro separately, which adds to the overall cost. But if you're a creative professional or a student who likes to take notes by hand, then this is definitely a worthy investment, I must say. Here's a screenshot of the current pricing of the iPad Air 11 on Amazon India, and here's a screenshot of Amazon US as well. And this is the current pricing of the Apple Pencil Pro as well. Alright, so we have covered a lot. But now it's time for the final question. Is the iPad Air M2 the perfect upgrade? Well, it's not really in the budget segment, but it's still a lot more cheaper than the iPad Pro. You're getting most of the Pro features like the M2 chipset without having to spend upwards of $1,000. For students and creative professionals looking for a device that's powerful, portable, and also capable for some serious work, this is the ultimate option, I must say. However, if you already have the iPad Air M1, the upgrade to M2 might not be necessary unless you need the extra power for specific tasks like video editing or intense gaming. But if you're coming from an older iPad like myself, as before this, as I mentioned, I've been using the 2020 iPad Pro. For this aspect, the iPad Air M2 is a solid upgrade and can easily serve as your main computing device. But for some reason, if the iPad Air is out of your budget as of now, then please don't worry. The iPad 10 Gen can be a pretty solid choice as well. Click here on this video, and over there we have discussed about the iPad 10 Gen in more details. See you there.